I want to begin where we just ended with Eric Hirschman's advice to John Eastman. How good a criminal defense lawyer do you think John Eastman needs?
An effing great defense lawyer, and even that wouldn't be good enough, because all of this focus on how they really believed their own lie is just completely bogus. Detachment from reality of the kind that Attorney General Barr seems to have been, detected on the part of the former president is a disqualification from the presidency, but it is not a defense to a criminal charge. Even in those very rare cases where delusion can be used to disprove intent, there is a doctrine known as willful ignorance. And we saw Barr describing that perfectly when he said that the president, then president, didn't seem to care about the facts. Every time, we've heard in the J6 committee hearings that every time Trump would say, but what about this? What about that? What about these boxes? They would explain to him patiently, the people around him, his own team, his own staff, we've investigated that, Mr. President, there's nothing in it. It's all BS, it's nonsense, but it didn't matter. The other very broad and very fundamental point is that you have to look at the specific crimes of which the president is said to have been guilty. Things like fomenting a violent insurrection or seditious conspiracy, or pretending that there is this non-existent organization in order to raise $250 million from gullible people. All of these crimes, some federal, some state, some violations of the law of Georgia because they included trying to get Raffensperger to manipulate the vote, all of them, however well motivated, they certainly don't seem to have been well motivated, but give the president the benefit of the doubt. Suppose it was noble. Suppose he really believed he was, Emperor Nero or George Washington reincarnated or Abraham Lincoln, and every vote that was not for him was a fraudulent vote. And it was in the best interests of the United States. It wasn't selfish for him to hold office. His ends might have been okay, though we doubt it, but the means were criminal. The way these laws are structured, they don't allow self-help. For example, the laws against corruptly obstructing a congressional proceeding, a crime punishable by 20 years in prison, as I recall. Suppose you think the congressional proceeding is a bad idea. They're going to count votes for somebody that you don't think really won. You go to court. They did that, 60 times, they kept losing. But what you don't do is encourage people to put up a gallows for your own vice president. What you don't do is gleefully watch while there's a violent mob squeezing people nearly to death and leading a guy like Sicknick a day later to die of a stroke. What you don't do is make up phony certificates. What you don't do is say that I'm going to take the law into my own hands. The obsession with whether he was well motivated is beside the point. He probably wasn't, but it's beside the point. He was using illegal means, criminal means, to achieve whatever ends he wanted to achieve. It is those criminal means that I think require him to get an effing good lawyer.